first thing we looked at in this topic? Bearings and scale drawings. How many degrees are in a straight line? How many degrees are in a circle? Okay, so a lot of that was super helpful. What did we call these kinds of angles? Co-interior, good. They were co-interior angles, and what do they add to? 180. Good, they add to 180. Well done. All right, we're not going to go over bearings. I just wanted to quickly get you to remind me. Okay, then what kind of triangles did we look at first? Right angled triangles. We're going to pretend that's a wonderful right angle right there. And what is our little acronym for finding out unknown things? SOHCAHTOA. Well done. All right. So that means sine of the angle equals opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of the angle equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Guys, hey, we shouldn't be talking while I'm talking. Tan of the angle is the opposite over the adjacent. All right, so if I mark that as my angle, what side is this? That's the hypotenuse. How do you know it's the hypotenuse? It's the longest and opposite the right angle. So what side is this? Why is it the adjacent? Yeah, because it's next to the marked angle. Adjacent is a fancy word for next to, so that makes this one the opposite because it's opposite the marked angle. Well done. All right. We are going to go back to our non-right angled triangle stuff now. So when we talked about non-right angled triangle rules, non-right angled, what were the two rules? Right, the sine rule is A over sine A. Okay, and if we were going to draw this triangle, remember the corners are the capital letters, right? Doesn't matter where we write A, B, and C, but as long as the sides are opposite the marked angles, that is what matters. C is opposite C, B is opposite B, A is opposite A. And that's the way we fill this in. Do we need all of these? What do we need? We need any two, right? It doesn't matter which two, as long as you've got two pairs where the angles and the sides are opposite each other. So let's do one. All right, so let's say that this is 38 degrees, this is 18 meters, this is 22 degrees, and this is X. All right, so if I was going to set, let's stay with this. If I was going to set up my rule, which one do I want to call A? 18, sure, it doesn't matter. So 18 over what? Careful. Sine 38, good. Actually, some people did that last week. They were just writing 18 over 38 and then getting a bit confused. Don't forget your sign. 18 over sine 38 and X over sine 22. All right, what do I do now? Cross multiply. Excellent. So then some people were getting fractions when they did their cross multiplication. Remember, that's not how it works. It's this one. So X times sine 38, doesn't matter which way around we do it, equals the other one, 18 times sine 22. How do I get X by itself? Divide, right? These are multiplying. So 18 sine 22 divide by sine 38. And then you just type that into a calculator. X is what? 11.9? What? Say it again. 10.95. 10.95. Oh, what? Meters. Okay, good. All right, so we're always using the right unit of measurement. So this is 10.95 meters because I had meters before. All right, what was the other rule we looked at? The cosine rule. Okay, let's get rid of all of this. All right, so I'm going to leave this here because we need the same type of triangle, don't we? But the cosine rule, remember there were two versions of the cosine rule. So if you want to find the unknown side, a squared equals b squared, plus c squared minus 2bc times cosine A. So the important part of this is that this side is opposite whatever angle you use. So that bit's really important. B and C, it doesn't matter which one is which, but A is really important. A must be opposite your used angle. So if we were using this angle, this must be the one that we use as this number out the front. And the other one, so if we want to find the angle, cosine A equals B squared plus C squared minus A squared all over 2BC. All right, so depending on what you're given, depends on which one you want to use. So again, actually, I'm going to zoom out a bit first because I feel like we don't quite have enough room. All right, let's have a look at a triangle. All right, this can be 58 degrees. This can be X, 12 centimeters and 14 centimeters. All right, which version am I going to use? The top one or the bottom one? The bottom one? The top one. Why am I using the top one? I've got an unknown side, right? This is the one for the unknown side. These are the same formula rearranged, right? They're just sort of making it easier for you and giving you the rearrangement. So what I'm going to do is put all of that information in. So it's x squared. That's my unknown. And it is opposite the angle I'm going to use. So I know that I've got it right. So x squared equals, doesn't matter which one is which. B and C are irrelevant. 14 squared minus 2b C times cosine A. All right, so then all I have to do is type this into a calculator, right? And then what do I do with it? Square root it. Someone type that into a calculator for me. Tell me what we get. Do it in your head. Do it in your head, yeah. Except the class part. What have we got? Yeah, but tell me what the unsquare rooted bit is. What is it? What is it? 162, I guess. Okay, well, don't round it. Give me decimal points. 162. Okay, so then X is 161. Okay. 161.9. Okay, and then what's this? So then square root it. 12 point something. 12 point what? 72. Is that right? Okay. So that is our cosine rule. And again, if it's an unknown angle, you just type it all straight in. And how do you find an unknown angle? The inverse, right? So you're taking the inverse. Once you've done this, take the inverse of it. All right, there's one more thing I'm going to show you. I know I told you last lesson we'd learned everything, but I forgot there's one more thing. Sorry. It's super easy though. Much easier than all of this. All right, so I'm still going to give you a triangle where this is A, B, C, A, B, C. So how do we find the area of a right angled triangle?
What you do the normal thing?
Yeah, half base times height or base times height divide 2, same thing, right? Okay, that only works. That only works if you have a right angled triangle. So I am going to teach you how to do it with a non-right angled triangle. It is very, very easy. And it is half BC times sine A. It's not. This is so easy. Half BC times sine A. I will give you this for the test, but again, you won't get it for the exam. Okay, so let's have a look. It's really simple. The important thing with this one is being able to label which side is which, okay? This is 12, this is 16, this can be 15. Okay, so I'm going to give you this information and you're going to have to tell me which letter is which. So if I'm going to use this formula, if this is the angle I'm using, which is side A? If this is the angle I'm using, which is side A, 15, right? Because I've only got one angle. So obviously the angle opposite it is A. Do I need to use A? No, I don't. I am not allowed to use A, right? I gave you all three sides here to, sometimes exams try and trick you. They give you more information than you need so that they can see if you know which bits to ignore. All right, you do not need to use this side at all. You're not allowed to. You must use the two sides that are not opposite the angle you're using. So in our case, it's going to be half times 12 times 16 times sine 52. That's all you got to put into a calculator. It's just a matter of ignoring the right side if they give you all three. Does that make sense? In really complicated questions in the exam, they might actually not even give you one of these. You've got to figure it out first, then know to ignore this. All right, so we're not going to do that right now. That's a bit later, but this is what we're going to do. You just type that into a calculator, which is, oh dear. Someone type that into a calculator for me. What have we got?
75.6.
Okay, 75.6, and I didn't put any units of measurement over here. Let's pretend I used meters. So this can be meters squared, right? Because it's area. So think about units of measurement. Okay, so that's the only thing that we need to add. It's really not very hard. All you have to do is make sure that you know what A, B, and C are. If you can label a triangle, you can do this sort of stuff. All right, today, well, that is 15.12. So if you were up to 15.12, great. If you weren't, that's okay. Keep going with what you were doing before. The other thing is just a reminder, break shapes into triangles as much as you can. If you have rectangles or squares, break them up into two triangles, and then all these rules work. Make as many triangles as you can.